we're going to rig today a TR-X 6.3.
Say what?
Over here. Anyway, we get the rigging manual here, a couple of stickers, put it on your car, show some love. So we have the sail rigged out, spread out. The first thing I'm going to do just before we put the mast in, and it's a little easier while there's no tension on the sail, is to go and put a little batten tension on all the battens. You can do it also when the sail's rigged, but it's just a little bit easier right now when the sail's dead flat. Generally the bottom of the sail is going to take a little more tension than the top. So don't be scared to crank up those battens. You're going to get a better idea looking at it once you rig it, but you can see the battens start to push out through the batten pocket when you start to get a little bit of excess batten tension, but you're really not going to hurt the sail that much. So we're just going to go up the sail here. We'll really crank these lower battens, make that skin really clean. And as we go further up, we're not going to need to put as much batten tension. Slide the mast over the top of the battens. You're not going to put the cams on right now. You're going to slide the mast on top of the battens and it will go in really easily. And if it doesn't go all the way through to the top, it doesn't matter. We're going to put our extension in and we're going to pull it through the rest of the way. So there's two ways that we can pop the cams on. One of them is just pulling the downhole probably. So it's 10 or 15 cm from the bottom. And what you're doing is you're just pulling that mast forward so you can get close to the cams, and start with a cam just above the boom cutout and work your way back and then work your way down. As you can see, it doesn't require much effort to pop the cams on. So if it's not that easy, then you're doing something wrong. And it's usually you've got either too little downhaul or too much downhaul, or you don't have the right technique for popping the cams on. So try to replay the video and watch what I'm doing. Really check to see that you're not pulling that much downhaul, you're just pulling enough to pull the mast forward so you can get the cams on. See, right now you can see that the sail is not downhauled that much, but all the cams are sitting there pretty nicely, ready to pull the downhaul. Now I'm just going to pull a little bit more downhaul because I don't want to have the battens cranked around like that because it's not very good for them. That's how you break the battens. So I'm just going to pull that a little bit there, flatten that sail off a little bit. Still have it a little bit loose so I can put the boom on. So 188 on the boom. Put my hand inside, pocket, open it up, put that boom on. Again, it doesn't require much effort, just goes on pretty easily. There we go. Okay, boom's on. Now I'm going to go back and pull the downhaul. I would advise to use some sort of rigging tool to pull the downhaul. I just tie a loop on the bottom of the rope here with a bowline knot and just wrap my hand around it and pull it. But it's a lot easier if you've got a crank or a screwdriver or something. You're not going to bust your hand up. So I'm going to pull the downhaul pretty much to where I think it's going to be set for when I'm sailing. So just let it off again and then pull that on. And what I'm looking for is the way the top of the sail is setting up. make sure that there's enough twist. I want the twist coming down to, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nearly 6 battens. And before I set my outhole, I want to have my sail cranked pretty good on the downhole and have that set pretty close. What I might do is I'll go up and check the sail even before I put the boom on, and just look at the twisting through here. You've got the looseness coming in, you know, about 2/3 of the way in. At the top it's coming really far forward, and the sleeve also is quite tight. That's another indicator that we're looking for, is having our sleeve up here pretty tight, so it pulls on the mast and it makes the top of the sail twist. It's going to be different when you get it on the water, because you're going to get tension in it, the rig's going to bend sideways, it's going to get loaded through the top of the sail. So that dimension is pretty close, 188. That's probably about minimum at downhole. So I'm going to set the outhole line, and generally I'm not going to pull too much tension on that outhole. I'm going to kind of leave it loose a bit, maybe just touching the boom. This is a wave boom, so it's going to be quite close to the boom. With a slalom boom, the back end is going to be a little bit wider, so probably not going to touch the sail. One of the mistakes a lot of people do is they over tension the outhole. They pull too much outhole on the sail and they kill the sail. You want to have it soft, a little bit soft on the outhole, kind of neutral. If it gets light wind and you're underpowered, you can let it off a little bit if you have an adjustable outhole. So that's pretty much it. The batten tension's already on, so we don't need to go and do that, but sometimes you might have to adjust it if you see some little wrinkles. I'll just get the batten tensioner again and give you an example with some wrinkles that you might see. So I'm going to let this off. Now you can see those wrinkles starting to form pretty far forward there on the batten, and you don't want those. So I'm going to wind this up, and you can see the wrinkles are disappearing and the sail's nice and clean. That looks beautiful. Nice twist, good amount of pocket down in the bottom to create the power. That's one thing that our new masts have done, is just created a little bit more power in the bottom of the sail, and just made it easier on us to get some good cam pressure. And the top of the mast is just a little bit softer than previously, so our twist is quite pronounced through the top. And overall, we've definitely got a better sail than before, which is always the goal. Sometimes it's difficult to make improvements, but since we worked on our mast and then we fine-tuned the sail a little bit around the mast, we've able to definitely get a better sail with a little more stability and control, a little bit more power than the TR9. Now we have the TR-X. Okay, we're going to de-rig now. We're going to start with the outhole. We're going to remove the outhole off the sail, and you don't, with the MauiSails booms, you basically just loosen your outhole and just undo the rope off the clue pulley. Quite easy. And then I like to push my boom down, because then next time you rig, it's a lot easier to put the boom on and also to take it off. So we're going to remove the boom, slide that into the middle of the cutout so I can get my hand in, just into the rope. Throw the boom off, and now generally with the downhole, you just want to let the downhole off quite quickly and let all the cams plop off. Just going to grab the foot here and let that go. Take the extension out and slide the mast out. Really, really easy. So the cam inside the sleeve is actually freestanding. The batten is into a pocket and that bottoms out under the end of the batten pocket all the way in there, and then the cam pops over the top of the batten, and then the back edge of the cam is touching the front edge of the sail, and the curve of the batten, the camber is always down too. So what we do is sometimes we'll take this edge right here, we'll just take a die grinder or a file or something which is going to get in there and take a couple of millimeters off the back of the cam. So you're going to do it both sides, just grind down that area there where it touches the sail, and so you're creating a little less space in there and make that tiny little bit looser. And sometimes it only takes 1, 2, maybe 3 millimeters max, and you'll get way better rotation. So that's a little trick that we do, and wanted to show you on the video today how to do that. So you can just pull the cam off and grind that edge right there, and basically make that cam a little bit narrower. Generally want to roll it pretty tight, starting from the very top. You don't have to loosen the battens either when you're coming off the water. Leave the batten tension on. Try to keep that sail nice and tight so it goes in the bag easy. Put a tie-me up on and back in the bag. Voila!